In this video I will give an overview of the plot of the film and review it. There was some text at the beginning of Gladiator 2 stating that instead of things getting better after Gladiator 1, things got worse in Rome over the next 16 years. The film starts in 200 AD, 4 years after the text at the beginning of the film, so presumably during this time is when the film has the two mad emperors coming to the throne. A brief summary of the historical emperors will be in the review section at the end of the video. Gladiator 2 is set circa 20 years after the events of the first film. Opening shots start on a farm in Numidia, with Lucius, now called Hanno, and his wife. They are summoned by the local king to fight at a fort because the Roman warships are on their way. There is a pre-battle ceremony. It follows with a big set-piece battle with the Romans led by General Marcus Acedius, played by Pedro Pascal, against the Nubians. In the battle, Lucius's wife perishes and he is captured. The ruler has been wounded in the battle and survivors are taken and marked as slaves. This was customary at the time when the defeated foe were taken as slaves. Once in Italy, on the outskirts of Rome, the slaves are taken to a slave pen. Violent baboons are released to attack them. The chief allows himself to be attacked and perishes. Lucius fights the baboon, bites it and ends up winning. Macrinius, played by Denzel Washington, is impressed, buys him and tests what capacity Lucius has by having his overseer fight him. This further impresses Macrinius, and he asks what Lucius wants and is told he wants revenge against Marcus. In the meantime, Marcus returns to Rome in triumph. He receives a reward by the two mad emperors Geta and Caracalla, who want to continue to expand the empire into Persia and India. At first Marcus is reluctant but submits. In private he plots with his wife Lucilia, Lucius's mum, to bring in an army of 5,000 troops, the size of a legion, into Rome after the Gladiator Games and overthrow the two mad emperors. This is revealed to a group of senators, some from the first film, and Thrax, who support them. In two flashback scenes it is revealed that Lucius was sent away at the end of the first film to protect him from rival factions in Rome, as he was the last of the royal line. He went first to Egypt, then to Numidia, where he settled. Macrinius takes Lucius to a party where the emperors are, and he makes a bet with Senator Thrax over a one-to-one gladiator match between Lucius and the Senator's gladiator. Rather than a fight until one wins, the emperors declare it a fight to the finish, while Lucius wins this fight. Lucius recites poetry, specifically Virgil. Macrinius continues to make bets with Thrax, to the point where Thrax owes Macrinius a lot of money, and Macrinius also owns Thrax's house. This becomes an important point for later on in the film. Macrinius has his own ambitions, which are ultimately revealed near the climax of the film to in effect become the ruler of the Roman Empire. It is also revealed that he was once a slave of Lucius's grandfather, Marcus Aurelius, and his scheme of revenge is to be the exact opposite of Marcus Aurelius. During training and the two mock battles in the Colosseum, Lucius emerges as a leader of the gladiators. He bonds with the other gladiators and becomes a crowd favourite. Lucilia attends the mock battles and recognises him, especially after Geta recites the poetry Lucius said at the party earlier in the film, and she goes to see Lucius but he rejects her, and she reveals that Maximus was his real father. Macrinius figures out who Lucius really is. Lucius still wants to fight Marcus for revenge. Lucia convinces Marcus to rescue Lucius, but he doesn't have his army with him because the games still have a few days left to run. Macrinius goes to Thrax, who now owes him a lot of money, and reveals the plot to Macrinius, and in classic double dealing, Macrinius goes to the emperors and Marcus and Lucilia are arrested. Marcus is then taken to the gladiator arena, where he first fights 4 soldiers and he wins. Then he is set up to fight Lucius, and they do fight, but Marcus then declares his love for Lucius' parents and he surrenders. Lucius cannot finish the fight and he comes to terms with Marcus. However, Caracalla orders a Praetorian guard to shoot their arrows at Marcus and he perishes. Lucius proclaims this is how Rome treats its heroes, and the crowd turns against the emperors. Macrinius suggests that they withdraw, and they do. Lucius and Lucilla reconcile, and she gives him her father's ring. Afterwards he gives the ring to Ravi, a doctor and former gladiator who Lucius has bonded with throughout the film, and he asks him to go to the Roman army stationed outside Rome to summon them to come to his aid and revealing his true identity with the ring. Also, Ravi leaves his keys with Lucius so he can free himself and the other gladiators. Both emperors are distressed and turn on each other, with Geta berating Caracalla, who is upset even further. Macrinus helps Caracalla assassinate Geta. Caracalla makes his pet monkey first consul and Macrinus as second consul. Macrinus then summons a Praetorian Guard to the Colosseum in Rome and orders Lucilia's execution. She is also to be defended by Lucius in the hopes of him perishing as well. In the Senate, a distraught Thrax leads the Hails to support Macrinus, even though he doesn't want to, but because of his huge debt to Macrinus, he has to. Macrinus reveals who he is to Lucilia before she goes into the arena. In the meantime, Ravi gets to the army outside Rome, and then marches on Rome. Lucius opens the gladiators' barracks and they escape, with Lucius rallying them with a speech. He leads them into the arena and they fight the Praetorian Guard there. Macrinus is informed that the army is on its way and orders 6,000 Praetorian Guard to go and fight them. Macrinus shoots Lucilia, assassinates Caracalla, and tries to escape. Lucius follows him. The two armies line up for battle. Lucius and Macrinus fight in between the two armies, and in the end Lucius wins. He gives a speech about rebuilding Rome into what it should be, and both armies support him. The film ends with Lucius in the arena. Throughout the film, Lucius dreams of the river crossing into the afterlife, similar to the Field of Reeds with Maximus in Gladiator 1. There are elements from the first Gladiator film recognisable in Gladiator 2. For example, having two mad emperors instead of one, a wife who perishes, plots of revenge, plots of using armies to overthrow the emperor, with an army loyal to the general. To be fair, not exactly uncommon for the Roman Empire. And a quick note here, Numidia was part of the Roman Empire by the events of the film. This is a historical inaccuracy in the film, used as a basis for the opening of the film. More on historical inaccuracies in a moment. I found Lucius reconciling with Marcus a bit anticlimactic, because the purpose of the film and of Lucius's aim up to this point in the film was revenge, but this got put to one side. Like Ridley Scott's other history films, Gladiator 2 is not a historically accurate film, for although Caracalla does assassinate Geta, it happens in 211 AD, not 200 AD, and Caracalla himself is assassinated in 217 AD, and not during the events of the film in 200 AD. Caracalla was created co-ruler with his father in 198 AD, and his brother was also brought in as co-ruler in 209 AD. Historically, the brothers were not twins, with Caracalla being born in 188 AD and Geta in 189 AD. Upon their father's passing in early 211 AD, they were proclaimed joint emperors, and not in 196 AD as the text at the beginning of the film implies, by mentioning 16 years after the event of Gladiator 1, with the main action of the film of Gladiator 2 starting in circa 200 AD. Geta perishes at the end of 211 AD. Caracalla was involved in this, but in turn he perished in 217 AD. Turning to the villain of the first Gladiator film, Commodus, he was co-emperor with his father, Marcus Aurelius, from 177 AD to 180 AD, and then reigned alone until 192 AD. He had his sister Lucilia executed in 182 AD, well before the events of Gladiator 2. She had 4 children overall. Lucia and Lucius perished young, and Aurelia perished at the same time as Lucia in 182 AD. Her other son, Lucius Aurelius Commodus Pompeianus, was executed in 212 AD for his involvement in Geta's assassination. He actually did have 2 heirs at the time of his execution. In summary, it is not an historical accurate film, but none of Ridley Scott's history films are historically accurate, and this should be baked into the equation when watching his historical films. When it comes down to how good the film is, well, to quote from Gladiator 1, "Are you not entertained?" Overall, while there are elements of the film that are similar to the first, I enjoyed the film more than I thought I would. The action was good, the acting was good, the story was a blend of themes from the first film and a little bit of new. The visual effects were also impressive. I thought Gladiator 2 was not as good as Gladiator 1, but it was a decent watch nonetheless. Well, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.